Greetings my customers. I'm going to try a recipe from a new book I've got, Sweet Polish Kitchen, and I'm going to make a classic Polish Bundt cake. Now sometimes these Bundt cakes from Poland are made with yeast, and sometimes they're not. This is going to be with not. Okay, so we're going to make a lemon and poppy seed Bundt cake. Being that it's a Bundt cake, you're going to need a Bundt tin. That's one of these fluted tins that we've made Bundt cakes for. And what I've done, I've buttered it really well and floured it. Okay, if you don't, it's going to get stuck in there. So that's all ready to go. And it's a 2.4 litre one. I've got a nicer looking, nicer fluted one, but unfortunately it's too small for this cake. So you're going to want one that can hold about 2.4 litres. I think it's 10 cups. So what I've got in here is 250 grams of butter, and I'm going to add to that 250 grams of caster sugar or granulated sugar, it's up to you. And now I just want to beat that together. Right, so that's now got nice and pale and whatever. It's a bit sticky there. Now the bunting resembles the sort of pleated skirt, if you like, of the grandmother, the baba or babka. And so this is known in Polish as a babka. Anyway, you're going to want to separate 4 eggs. You're going to want the whites in a bit, but first off what we're going to do is gradually beat in one at a time the egg yolks. We're now going to add some vanilla. Okay, I'm going to add, I just realised I picked up the half teaspoon. 1, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I said I just used a half one, being an idiot. And then juice of half a lemon, and the zest of a whole lemon. Now we will be decorating this using lemon juice. Okay, and so now all I'm going to do is I just want to get this all mixed in, and then you're going to want some self-raising flour. Whoops, spilling it. You're going to want some self-raising flour, 250 grams of that, and we're going to then shortly sift that in to this mixture and then stir it in. And then a final addition will be some poppy seeds. So I thought I had a little token bit at the end there, just show you that I did actually sift that in. And now what we want to do is gently stir that in until it's all nicely mixed together. Now when I said there was one final ingredient, I meant other than the other eggs or the other bits of eggs, because remember I said separate your eggs. So our final stage before we put it into our tin will be to add in the whisked egg whites. And you'll want your oven on, preheated to 170. I think it's either 305 or 350, I can't remember. 170 centigrade. Okay, so I think we're just about there with that. I've got little pockets, so at this point I've got 2 tablespoons of poppy seeds. And there we go, and we're just going to stir them all the way through that mixture, and then we're just going to set that to one side while we prepare the egg whites. So there you go, that's got them whisked up to to effectively stiff peaks. And now what we want to do is gradually, I'll have to get another spoon for this because fortunately that's got that all over it. We're just going to spoon in a little bit of that, and then this first bit we're going to have to be a little bit rough, if you like, so to start loosening this batter mix up. But obviously we're trying not to knock all the air that we just whisked into them egg whites out, so we're just going to do this bit a little bit rougher just to loosen it up enough so that we can gradually, in spoonfuls if you like, fold it in. That's now got that all mixed in, so we can't see any more white bits, and I hope we bloody can't. So I'm just going to spoon that in to that tin. It all evenly round. So we've got self-raising flour, we've got that air from them egg whites, chucking it on that board. So I'm now just trying to spread that out fairly evenly. Hopefully knock out any air bubbles that are in there. Now that's ready now. Just getting it all over myself. To go in that oven for up to 45 minutes, or anyway, when a skewer comes out nice and clean. Right, that had just over 45 minutes in the end, and appears to be cooked. So now what we do is we leave it in the tin for about 15 minutes, and it should contract away from the sides. You can see it did like it did before, not quite as bad as before. It's actually sort of raised up a bit, but anyway, we leave it cool for 15 minutes, and then we'll turn it out in wire rack, and we want it to cool completely before we prepare our topping. And we're going to do a lemon icing, and we're going to decorate it with some more poppy seeds and some rose petals. You could do it with dried flowers, or you don't even have to put any on at all, but that's what we're going to do. So we're just in that initial cool down phase. Right, turned it over, and it did sound good. There you go. Unfortunately this bigger Bundt tin doesn't have quite the same fluting as my Nordic ware one, but like I said, it was the size of it. So there's some crumbs on there. That's because I did actually, that domey bit, I did just trim that off because I wanted it to lay flat. Now I'm going to leave it on that wire rack to cool completely, and then we'll prepare our icing to go over the top. So it's going to be a little while yet. Right, turned it over, and it did sound good. There you go. Unfortunately this bigger Bundt tin doesn't have quite the same fluting as my Nordic ware one, but like I said, it was the size of it. So there's some crumbs on there. That's because I did actually, that domey bit, I did just trim that off because I wanted it to lay flat. Now I'm going to leave it on that wire rack to cool completely, and then we'll prepare our icing to go over the top. So it's going to be a little while yet. And by the way, the trimmings are very, very tasty. Okay, I've transferred it onto a cake board, and I've just got it on my turntable for now. In here I've got 250 grams of icing sugar, and I've got the juice of 1.5 lemons. So I may not need all of this. And the idea is we add some of that lemon juice, and then we're just going to mix that icing up until it's a nice, easy to work paste. So I used the best part of that 1.5 lemons, and we've now got a nice smooth, and I was going to say smooth, It is, I think, just the way it falls off of there. And so what we want to do now is just drizzle this all over the top. So I'm just going to go around until you start getting it start fairly evenly over the top and running down the sides. Some of that's flying off onto me. Turntable. Now I just want to give it, whoops, a light sprinkling. Said having dumped a big lump there of poppy seeds, and also I've just got some dried rose petals. Just going to add a few of those. Like I say, you don't need to decorate it like this. It's entirely up to you. Oops, that'd add a bit of icing on it. That will do. So I'm just going to have a little clean up, and then we'll let that set. Transfer it to a plate. Time to have a little taste. So, she says in a book this should serve about 8 people, but I think I'm just going to start with a little small slice. There we go. You can see the nice even texture. So, sticky hand, clean up, and I'm going to taste it. Let's see what this is like. Definitely lemony, which is what we want, because lemon and poppy seed. But you get that sort of nutty crunch from the poppy seeds. And even through that icing, those poppy seeds, you can still taste them. Bit of cake on its own. It's lovely and moist. What else can I say? Bloody delicious. So, Polish lemon and poppy seed bundt cake.